Hello folks, we are back here in the kitchen and today we're dealing with the glut of tomatoes that we have. I don't know about you, but at this time of year, there's so many ripe tomatoes on the go and there's only so many salads and sandwiches and things you can have with tomato in it. There's far too many of them to deal with, and what I like to do is whip up some tomato sauce, and you can whack it in a tub or in a bag or whatever and stick it in the freezer and it'll last you for ages. All the way through the winter, you can take them out whenever you're doing a spag bol or a chili or anything like that. It can be used as a base sauce for that, and you can add your own flavourings in on top. But this is how I make a sort of base sauce, and it's dead easy. Couldn't be any more simple. So, roasting tin, olive oil. You see, nice and easy so far. We're just going to put a good glug in the bottom there, and we'll pop that over here, and we'll take some of our tomatoes. I've got two different varieties here. Doesn't really matter which varieties you're using. These red ones here are Crimson Crush. We'll whack them in, and if I grab one of these ones, this sort of stripy one here, this is a large barred boar. And one of the good things about making a sauce with your tomatoes is, if like this one, you have a look on the top there, maybe you can see that, it's just split a little bit. It doesn't look so nice if you've made a salad or something and you're sort of presenting it to someone. It doesn't look as good. So obviously if you're putting it in a sauce, it doesn't matter. And when they're this sort of big, I'm probably going to quarter them, unlike the other ones where I just halve them. And all together here in this colander, I've got around about 1.5 kilos of tomatoes. You know, it doesn't need to be exact. It can be around about, you know, if you've only got, 1.2 kilos or if you've got 1.7 kilos, it doesn't matter. It'll still turn out pretty good. So what I'm going to do is we will get all of these chopped up, and these are literally just getting fired into this roasting tin. And again, the good thing is whatever varieties of tomatoes you've got, you can use them in this sort of recipe. And I tell you, one of the things that always amazes me when doing these is just how sort of orangey the sauces come out. And it shows you that the ones that you buy in the shop, whether you get them in a jar or if you get the passata or the chopped tomatoes or anything like that, that really sort of red colour it's just a bit fake, you know, because the Crimson Crush, admittedly, large bad boy, you can see them there, it's green and sort of orangey, very stripy, so they do come out a different colour. But if you make it just with the Crimson Crush, which is a pretty bog standard red tomato, it just comes out that orangey colour, and it's a nice, natural, fresh sort of taste. So, back to this. Anyway, what else are we going to chuck in here? I've got 4 cloves of garlic. Here it is here from the bulb, and again, this was grown on the allotment, and I guess that's one thing I should say. All the ingredients you're seeing here today have been grown fresh at the allotment, so they've got next to no food miles on them because my allotment's only 4 miles away from where I am here. And it's all been grown from seed, no chemicals or anything's been put on them, so absolutely brilliant. Next I'm putting in is 4 shallots. They have just been peeled and halved, so we're going to fire them in there. And on top of that, just a little drizzle of balsamic vinegar. And to top it off, I know we've already got a bit of a glug on the bottom, but just a little bit of a glug on the top, again, of the olive oil. And that is pretty much all it takes to put that together. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to spin round, we're going to whack the oven on there. Got a fan oven there, it's only about 180 it's on. This is going to go in the middle of the oven. We'll pop that in, and it's going to go in there for around about 20 minutes. What you want it to do is you want to sort of reduce down, be bubbling away, and look a little bit sort of sticky, and that's just the right sort of texture that you want. And I'll come back to you in a bit. Once we've got out the oven, we'll show you how we're going to put the final touches to it and make it into the sauce. And one other thing to mention, what you can do, if you don't want to roast them in the oven, because I really like that sort of roasted taste in the sauce, is you can do it on the hob. You can chuck those exact same ingredients in a pan, stick a lid on it, put the hob on, again for about 20 minutes, it's going to reduce down, and you can do exactly the same after that. Anyway, we'll leave that cooking away, and I'll be back with you in just a jiffy. And that's the tomatoes almost cooked in the oven. Let me just pop the heat off there and let all the heat out so don't get blasted with heat as soon as I open the oven door. And we'll pop this out and pop it on there. Now, it doesn't look like much at the moment, but as soon as we whiz it up in the food processor there, it's going to look absolutely smashing. Now, I don't think we'll get all of this in there in a oneer, so I'm making sure when I'm scooping this out, I've got a good share of different types of tomato, a share of the garlic cloves, and some of those shallots as well. So we're actually going to get 2 batches out of this. I think that's probably just about enough for that. Let's fire them over there, and it'll be a miracle if I get this on first time. The tops on these things are a little bit temperamental, shall we say, and that's hot. That's straight out of the oven, so it's boiling hot. So I'm just gonna lift that up a little bit just to make sure any steam comes out of there, and we're gonna whiz it up in here. So apologies for the noise. And we'll just have a quick check of how it's looking. I can still see a few lumps and bumps there from the shallots and garlic, so we'll just give it another whiz for another 10-20 seconds or so. And what I would say is, I wish you could smell this, because it smells absolutely amazing at the moment in here. Right, let me take this out of here, and we'll get rid of this over here so we can see what's going on. Take the lid off, pop that over there, and we've got our base tomato sauce in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of these. This is just an old takeaway container, believe it or not. And for us, for a family of 3, one of these pretty much full is almost just about the right size for us for a meal. I'm actually just going to gamble a bit there and pour it in. There we go. And that is it. Pretty much done. So we've got about the same again to do there. And there's at least another one of these. So out of that 1.5 kilos of tomatoes, we're going to get at least 4 base sauces. I reckon we'll get 5 of these tubs full of that sauce. From 1.5 kilos of tomatoes, there was 4 shallots, splash of vinegar, splash olive oil, and 4 cloves of garlic. And that's all there was. And that's going to be magic. And I'm going to jam pack the freezer full of them to last us all the way out through the winter. Anyway, if you like what you've seen here today, please think about subscribing. It's absolutely free. You just click the red button down below. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. If you want to leave any comments down below, I love hearing what people have to say and get a bit of interaction going on. Anyway, that's me done for today. Thank you very much for watching, folks, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.